Hey there, Cash and Consequences family. Franklin here. Before we dive into today's eye-opening revelation, let me share something that changed my entire perspective on wealth. You know, after 15 years as a financial advisor and 8 years running multiple businesses with hundreds of employees, I've learned this harsh truth. $1 million today is what $100,000 was 30 years ago. Think about that for a moment. We're living in an era where being a millionaire might actually mean you're struggling to maintain a middle-class lifestyle. Here's what keeps me up at night, and what should concern every one of you. We've been conditioned to worship the $1 million mark like it's some magical gateway to financial freedom. But here's the brutal reality. Most millionaires today are house rich and cash poor, drowning in debt, and one market crash away from financial ruin. Money without wisdom is just expensive ignorance, and ignorance always comes with consequences. Before we expose these hidden truths, if you're new to Cash and Consequences, hit that subscribe button and join our community of financially savvy individuals who refuse to live in financial fantasy land. And to my loyal subscribers who've been on this journey with me, thank you. Your engagement and questions drive every piece of content I create. Now let's shatter some illusions. The $1 million mirage. Last month I had coffee with a friend. Let's call him Marcus. On paper, Marcus looks incredible. Net worth? $1.2 million. Impressive, right? Here's what that actually looks like. House worth $800,000 with a $650,000 mortgage. 401k with $200,000 checking account. $3,500 credit card debt. $45,000 car loans. $35,000. Marcus earns $120,000 annually. Lives in Toronto. And guess what? He can't afford to take his family on vacation without financing it. He's what I call a paper millionaire. Rich on spreadsheets, broke in reality. This isn't just Marcus's story. According to recent studies I've been analyzing, nearly 60% of American millionaires have less than $25,000 in liquid assets. They're millionaires who live paycheck to paycheck. Here's something that'll blow your mind. Location makes millionaires out of ordinary people and turns millionaires into the struggling middle class. Take Sarah from San Francisco. She bought a modest 200 square foot home in 2010 for $400,000. Today, it's worth $1.4 million. Congratulations, Sarah. You're a millionaire. But here's the catch. Her property taxes are $17,000 annually. Her mortgage payment is $4,200 monthly, and a gallon of milk costs $650. Meanwhile, my business partner in Montreal has a gorgeous 3,000 square foot home worth $450,000, pays $3,200 in annual property taxes, and enjoys a cost of living that makes his $85,000 salary feel like $130,000 in San Francisco terms. Geography doesn't just determine your zip code, it determines whether your millions mean freedom or financial imprisonment. I remember giving a lecture at UCLA 3 years ago, and a student asked me, "Franklin, what's the minimum net worth to be considered wealthy in America?" My answer shocked the room. In major metropolitan areas, you need at least $5 million to live the lifestyle previous generations achieved with $1 million. Here's a story that perfectly illustrates this madness. I was consulting for a tech executive in Seattle. Let's call him David. David's compensation package was impressive. A $180,000 salary plus equity that pushed his net worth above $1.5 million. David drove a leased BMW, $800 a month, lived in a $950,000 condo, 90% financed, and had a lifestyle that required $12,000 monthly just to maintain. His liquid savings? Less than $8,000. When COVID hit and his company's stock plummeted 40%, David's paper wealth evaporated overnight. Suddenly he was scrambling to make ends meet, borrowing against his 401k, and considering bankruptcy. A millionaire. Considering bankruptcy. This taught me a crucial lesson I share with every client. Debt doesn't discriminate based on net worth. It enslaves millionaires just as efficiently as it enslaves everyone else. You know what's fascinating? I've observed something I call millionaires syndrome among my high net worth clients. The moment they cross that 7-figure threshold, their spending increases faster than their wealth accumulation. It's psychological. They think, I'm a millionaire now, I should live like one. So they upgrade everything. The house, the cars, the vacations, private schools for kids, country club memberships. Before they know it, they're spending $15,000, $20,000 monthly to maintain their millionaire lifestyle. I had a client, a successful surgeon in Vancouver, who perfectly embodied this trap. Dr. Williams earned $400,000 annually and had a net worth approaching $2 million. But his monthly expenses were staggering. Mortgage, $40,500 private school for 2 kids, $2,800, 2 luxury car payments, $2,400, country club dues, $850 dining and entertainment, $2,200 travel and vacations, financed, $1,800. Dr. Williams was saving less than 5% of his income despite being a millionaire. He was trapped in golden handcuffs, unable to reduce his lifestyle without feeling like he was moving backward. The real wealth builders you've never heard of. Now let me tell you about the people who've truly mastered money. The ones you'll never see on social media flaunting their wealth because they understand that real wealth whispers. There's Jim, a plumber in Ohio, net worth $3.2 million. He drives a 2015 pickup truck, lives in a $180,000 house, paid off, and hasn't taken a loan in 15 years. Jim's secret? He understood early that cash flow beats net worth every single time. Jim owns 7 rental properties, each generating $800 to $1,200 monthly in positive cash flow. His total passive income exceeds $6,000 monthly. While paper millionaires stress about market fluctuations, Jim sleeps soundly, knowing his cash flow remains stable regardless of market conditions. Or consider Marie, a teacher in Quebec who retired at 55 with $2.8 million. Her secret weapon? She lived on 40% of her income for 30 years and invested the difference in boring, diversified index funds. No fancy strategies, no get-rich-quick schemes, just consistent, disciplined wealth building. Marie's story particularly resonates with me because it challenges everything we're told about wealth building. She never earned more than $65,000 annually, never had a side hustle, never flipped houses or started a business. She just understood the power of living below her means and letting compound interest work its magic. The technology trap. As a technology enthusiast who's watched the digital revolution transform our relationship with money, I've noticed something disturbing. Technology is making it easier than ever to become a fake millionaire. Apps like Robinhood, cryptocurrency exchanges, and real estate crowdfunding platforms have democratized investing, which sounds great until you realize they've also democratized financial delusion. I can't tell you how many people have shown me their portfolio apps displaying 6- or 7-figure net worth, money they've never seen, can't access, and often don't understand. They feel wealthy browsing their apps, but they're living on credit cards and can't afford an emergency. Last year, I consulted with a 28-year-old from Toronto, whose cryptocurrency portfolio was worth $1.4 million on paper. He quit his job, bought a Tesla, and started living like a millionaire. 6 months later, when crypto crashed, his portfolio was worth $200,000. He had no job, a car payment he couldn't afford, and credit card debt exceeding his remaining crypto value. Technology amplifies everything, including our financial mistakes. Having worked with clients across North America, I've observed fascinating cultural differences in how we define and pursue wealth. In France, I've noticed wealthy individuals prioritize quality of life over net worth accumulation. French millionaires often have lower net worth on paper, but higher life satisfaction. They understand that wealth should enhance life, not consume it. My French business associates laugh at American millionaires who work 80-hour weeks to maintain lifestyles they can't afford. What's the point of having money if you have no time to enjoy it? They ask. It's a profound question that challenges our entire approach to wealth building. In Canada, I've observed a more conservative approach to wealth. Canadian millionaires tend to have higher liquid savings rates and lower debt-to-asset ratios. They're less flashy, but more financially secure. A $1 million net worth in Edmonton or Halifax represents real financial freedom, unlike the same number in Vancouver or Toronto. Now let me tell you about the hidden costs of fake wealth. Here's what nobody talks about: the psychological and relationship costs of fake wealth. I've counseled numerous couples whose marriages crumbled under the pressure of maintaining millionaire appearances they couldn't afford. Remember Marcus from earlier? His marriage nearly ended because of financial stress. His wife didn't understand why they couldn't afford basic luxuries despite being millionaires. The constant financial pressure, the juggling of credit card payments, the anxiety about market fluctuations, it nearly destroyed their family. Real wealth reduces stress and anxiety. Fake wealth amplifies them. I've seen successful executives develop anxiety disorders, lose sleep, and damage their health trying to maintain unsustainable lifestyles. They're millionaires on paper, but paupers in peace of mind. Talking about the path to real wealth is a must because you've just subscribed to Cash and Consequences. I really appreciate that. So how do we build real wealth in an era of fake millionaires? It starts with redefining what wealth means. Real wealth isn't about net worth, it's about financial freedom. It's about having enough passive income to cover your expenses without depending on employment. It's about having options, not obligations. Here's my wealth building framework, developed through years of personal experience and client success stories. The FIRE principle: financial independence requires elimination. Eliminate debt aggressively. Eliminate lifestyle inflation. Eliminate the need for income through passive cash flow. Eliminate financial anxiety through emergency funds. The 50-30-20 rule needs updating for today's economy. 50% for needs, including aggressive debt elimination, 20% for wants, 30% for wealth building and emergencies. Yes, you read that correctly. 30% for wealth building. In today's economy, the old 20% savings rate isn't sufficient to achieve real financial independence. Before I wrap up, I want to challenge you with some questions. Drop your answers in the comments. I read every single one and respond to all my subscribers first. What's your definition of wealthy? Has it changed after watching this video? If you're a paper millionaire, what percentage of your net worth could you access within 30 days without penalties or borrowing? Where are you watching this from? I'm curious about the geographic diversity of our Cash and Consequences community. What's the biggest financial myth you believed before joining this channel? Here is the uncomfortable truth. Here's the reality we all need to face. In major North American cities, $1 million isn't wealthy. It's barely comfortable. Real wealth in today's economy requires $5+ million in diversified assets for major metropolitan areas, multiple income streams that don't depend on your personal labor, liquid savings covering 12+ months of expenses, zero high-interest debt, a financial plan that accounts for inflation, healthcare costs, and market volatility. As we wrap up this deep dive into the world of fake millionaires, remember this: wealth isn't about the size of your net worth, it's about the size of your options. I've seen people with $500,000 in assets live more freely than people with $2 million in debt-leveraged holdings. True wealth gives you choices. It lets you sleep peacefully, take calculated risks, help others, and live on your own terms. The millionaire next door isn't driving a luxury car or living in a mansion. They're probably driving a reliable used car and living in a modest, paid-off home. They're building real wealth while the flashy millionaires build elaborate facades. Stop chasing paper wealth and start building real financial freedom. Your future self will thank you. That's a wrap on today's reality check, Cash and Consequences family. If this opened your eyes to something you hadn't considered before, smash that like button and share it with someone who needs to hear this message. Remember, I respond to comments from subscribers first, so make sure you're part of our community. And don't forget to tell me where you're watching from. I love seeing our global reach. Until next time, this is Franklin reminding you that smart money makes smart moves, and smart moves create lasting consequences. Stay wealthy, stay wise, and I'll see you in the next one.